What's up, guys? Been working in South Carolina all week, so I really haven't been able to get a whole lot of work done on anything. Been away in a hotel every night, so getting ready to try and start working on this Nissan again, get the engine in here. I'm gonna finish this Nissan before I do anything else to the Audi, so I apologize to those of you that are waiting for an Audi video. Hopefully it'll be the next video, but I'm gonna finish this Nissan before I do anything else to the Audi. The Audi's running great. I've got about 3,500 miles on it since I built it, which I know seems like a very short time, but I drive for a living and I'm driving that car every day. So I'm putting a ton of miles on it. It's driving phenomenal, except for every once in a while I get a random boost alarm, and it's running a factory tune. So I've got a leak somewhere. So I just got to figure out where that leak is, and I'll cover that in the next video for the Audi. But to get back to the Nissan, I've got the engine completely reassembled. I need to bolt the transmission back on. Well, I need to put the pressure plate, flywheel, clutch disc, and all that on the back of the engine, and then bolt it up to the transmission, and then drop it into the car and get all the rest of the plumbing done on the inside of the engine bay. So I did pick up I said it earlier, I got all the hardware. So engine's all the way back together. So that's where we're gonna pick up. All right, guys, so I've got the engine over here in front of the Nissan. I got it all set up. I don't have the transmission bolted to the engine yet, but I was getting ready to start putting this thing together. Sorry, I got a bunch of crap in my hair from laying under the car. So I just removed the center brace that runs from here back, and the exhaust hangs from it, but it's this brace right here. So I removed that so that it's easier for me to get the engine back in here, because I still haven't been able to get the CV axles off of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind up putting the car back together, and then I'll take it to my buddy's shop and get it popped off. I also found out that I don't have the wheel locks for the wheels that are on here, so I'm going to have to run up and, I don't know, I might be able to buy a set at AutoZone that has the same keys, because these are pretty standard keys. They're just the sport rims, or the sport lug nuts like you buy at Advance, AutoZone, freaking O'Reilly, wherever. So I'm going to run up one of them and see if they've got a set that's similar to this, so I can get the lock. I don't need the lug nuts, I just need the damn lock, but you can't buy the lock without buying a whole pack of lug nuts. So I'm gonna figure out what size these are, buy the set for this car, and go ahead and change them all anyway. I'll just put all new lug nuts on it. But yeah, I was starting to get this thing ready, and it sounded like it was gonna freaking storm. It was thundering and lightning, and the sky got black, and that was like 5 minutes ago. Now it's freaking beautiful. You can see it's freaking clear as could be. So, but over here it's still a little overcast, so I don't know if I'm going to take a chance on this yet. I may wait another like 20-30 minutes, make sure it's not going to rain before I start pulling this tarp back off of here, because I've got it covered up because I don't want to get any water down inside anything on the engine. So I'm going to give it a little bit. If it doesn't rain, then I'm going to pick back up. All right, guys, so I was going to try and put the engine in. You can see I've got the transmission bolted up to it. Everything's ready to rock and roll. I was going to go ahead and start throwing it in the car, but it's starting to get a little too dark out here to film. I thought about trying to do it, but I don't think I'm going to have enough light. The sun's probably going to set in about the next 10 or 15 minutes, and it's probably going to take me about a little over an hour to get this thing bolted into where it's not going to fall. So I think I'm going to just set it down and get back at it tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, so I got the engine sitting in the engine bay. I got that engine mount and that engine mount holding it. I still don't have the brace that goes underneath for the front and rear mounts. But I've started hooking up some wiring, trying to figure out where everything goes, because I didn't have this car when it got tore apart, so I'm having to try and play a guessing game on how all this stuff goes. So as I figure it out, I'll do updates. But next thing I'm going to do is throw the CV axles in, and then get that cross member brace bolted in, and get those two engine mounts bolted in. Then I'll hook up my shifter linkage and get the rest of the wiring and stuff hooked up, and then throw the radiator and the battery tray and everything in here. So hopefully I'll have this thing running later this afternoon. All right, guys, so I got most of the engine all the way assembled. Everything's together. I am missing, apparently I'm missing a sensor that goes right here, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and figure out what that sensor is for. I'm also missing the cotter pin that holds the shifter linkage together, but I can get a cotter pin anywhere. What else did I have on this thing? All the motor mounts are done. I don't have the original air box. They swapped it out for this freaking aftermarket crap, so I'm gonna have to see if I can find an original air box for this thing, because I don't like these intakes like this. I would prefer to have it down in the fender. If you're gonna go cold air, you need to do it down out of the freaking engine compartment, or you need to have it shielded from the engine compartment so that no hot air gets to it. It kind of defeats the purpose of having a damn cold air intake if it's in a hot ass engine bay. But anyway, that's besides the point. Also notice that my alternator does not turn. It won't turn. The pulley will turn, but if you look, it'll only turn one direction because it's got a slip clutch on the pulley, but the actual alternator itself, internals, won't turn. So I'm gonna have to take this alternator off, and probably I might take it and see if I can get it moving, or I'll just buy another one. It depends on how expensive they are. But I'm missing a couple other pieces. I'm missing the insulator cushions for the upper radiator mounts. I'm missing some hardware for the upper radiator mount. The battery's dead, so I got to get a new battery. I tried to charge it, and it's freaking dead. So I've got a couple clips that are missing on the front end. Those two clips right there are missing. It looks like I'm missing a bolt for here to hold that down. I'm missing the bolt for a bracket down inside of here. And I'm also missing some hardware for right here. There should be another bracket that bolts in to these two holes right here that I don't have. So I'm missing a couple pieces. So once I get everything figured out, I'll do an update. But the only thing that I have left as far as assembly of the engine goes is I do not have the driver's side CV axle in. I have the passenger side in. I have all 4 motor mounts hooked up. Everything's put on. I don't have the air intake tightened down, and I don't have, like, hose clamps need to be put in, or they just need to be slid down. But I was trying to see if I had all the sensors and all the wiring to hook everything up, and looks like this is the only sensor that I'm missing. And then, like I say, I don't have the stock air intake, so I am gonna try and find a way to do an original air intake on this thing. But I'll give you an update after I get more stuff done. All right, guys, I got everything hooked up. Just put oil and an oil filter on it. I still got to go get a battery, and I still got to figure out what I'm going to do with the alternator. But everything else is hooked up. I'm not going to start it until I figure out what's wrong with the alternator. So I'm either going to replace this alternator or try and get it to free up. If I can get it to free up, I'll go ahead and start it with this alternator and then see if it's actually charging. If not, then I'll have to replace it. But I'm going to see if I can get it to free up, and then I have to go buy a new battery. But I got my mounts for the radiator installed, got the strut bar installed, hood's mounted back on here, sprayer hooked up, overflow tanks hooked up. So yeah, all the hose clamps are in place. I still have to put antifreeze in it, and still have to get the battery and the alternator. So once I get that stuff done, we'll have a first start. All right, guys, so I got the alternator to free up. I don't know what the deal is. When I tighten the lower bolt on here, it puts the alternator in a bind. If I put a spacer in between the alternator and the mounting bracket, it doesn't help. If I put it between the bolt and the alternator, it doesn't help. If I put it between the backside of the bracket and the alternator, it doesn't help. So I don't know what's happening. So I've got the bolt run down until it's just touching. It's not all the way tight. The upper bolt's tightened probably more than it should be, just to compensate for the bottom. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with it, but I don't have the money right now to buy another alternator, so I'm gonna just do it like this just to see if I can get it running. I tried to crank it over last night, and I think it's got bad gas in it. I also still need to get some transmission fluid, or not transmission fluid, but power steering fluid. And I think that's it. I think I'm gonna pump all the gas out of here and put fresh gas in it and try and start it again. All right, what's up, guys? So I wasn't able to get the Nissan all the way running this weekend. I tried to do a lot of different stuff to it, and I actually stopped working on it today so that I could do a little bit of work to my Audi. I'm gonna have an update video on the Audi probably Thursday or Friday. Installed a new boost gauge in there, and I'm gonna do my very first tune on that engine. But as far as the Nissan goes, I've got everything installed, everything's buttoned up, ready to go. I still have to drain the gas out of it, and that's where I stopped. All I got to do is put a jumper where the fuel pump relay is and turn the key on and drain all the gas out, and then put some fresh gas in it. But I want to buy a new battery for it. I'm using a battery that I had for another vehicle, and it's an older battery, so the terminals are on the wrong side. So there's a couple things that I still want to do to the Nissan, and I don't have the money to do it yet because I don't get paid for another week. So I'm just going to leave it where it is until I get my next paycheck, and then I'll get the car done. So that's basically where the Nissan's going to sit, and like I say, until I get paid again. But as far as the Audi goes, I'll have an update video on the Audi, installing the manual boost gauge, and doing a basic tune to increase the boost level from the factory map. I don't believe I'm gonna mess with timing or anything like that, but we'll see how that goes. But that's what I started working on that prevented me from finishing the Nissan. Also, the fact that I ran out of money for parts for the Nissan. So I may be able to update something on the Nissan during the week. I've got other stuff that provides me income, but I don't get my actual paycheck for another week, so we may have to wait. But that's where it stands. So I'll give you an update on the Nissan when I get it running and get a drive in and see how everything's working. But my very next video will be in regards to the Audi, in regards to the tune. So if you like what you saw in this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, let your friends see what I'm doing, and keep continuing to get this channel to grow. Have a great one. Hope you enjoyed.